161st Street, Yankee Stadium.
Swung on a hit in the air to deep center. Gets back, away back. She is gone. He made the catch. He made the play.
All right, welcome back to the Boys of 161st Street. Welcome in. Episode 111. None other than Gerrit Cole is who we're talking about, weighing in at 220 pounds, standing at 6'4", from Newport Beach, California. That's where he's from. I don't know why I said it like that. I couldn't really read it. I can't really read most things, but welcome in. I am Luke, and I'm joined by Chandler and Damon.
Yep.
How you guys doing?
Fantastic. You know it's tomorrow?
Could not be better.
When we're recording this, it's not tomorrow, but I know what you're alluding to.
Damn.
When we're releasing this episode, opening day is 2 days away. So Gerrit Cole, good timing. He'll be on the bump very soon. So, is that what you were going to say?
Yeah, I was. I was
Okay.
trying not to cool because I've been like, yo, we recorded this a while ago. But
Yeah, we're recording this on the 23rd, so it's not
But, like,
tomorrow,
I was seeing
but
into
we
the
are
future.
just as hyped as we would be that day, but not even close because I'm going to be screaming when baseball's back.
yeah,
Baseball's back.
I'm gonna rig all the speakers in our apartment to be the S Network theme song go off at 8 a.m. and wake up this goddamn city.
City never sleeps.
Never sleeps, especially on opening day.
It kind of does now.
You don't know.
What do you know about this
You don't know
city?
anything.
That's so fun. That's what we said the entire time. For those listening, it's a little city inside joke if you're from here. You just always like to call other people out for not knowing what you do know when they do talk about the city. Like, for example, Alyssa, my girlfriend, she said to Damon, like, she mentioned Tribeca or something, and Damon immediately snaps back at her and goes, "What do you know about Tribeca?"
Hey, you gotta
It's
earn,
like
you
a
gotta
little
earn
bit
some
of a-
respect around here.
It's just a little bit of
It's respect.
I don't even know what it is. It's just, it took us long enough to learn everything about the city. So now, whenever somebody says something about it, we're just like, what the fuck do you know about this?
Chandler, if you had New York City tap water, you'd go to heaven. It's the best thing in the world. You don't know what's like.
I mean,
you don't know what's
Drinking
like.
it right now.
I'll be there for the first series against the Astros. The first thing I'm doing is I'm swinging by your apartment. And I want a glass of ice cold tap water in one of the spring training cups. Just
Yeah,
really
right.
bring the nostalgia factor into.
I have a nice Tampa Tarpons cup.
You're gonna be blown away. I can't wait for it. I'm gonna record it. Get your first reactions. It's gonna be great.
I'm going to be
Gerrit Cole.
floored. I
You
can't
think Gerrit Cole drinks
be a
that New York
hole
City
in it.
tap water? No, he lives in Greenwich.
No, Connecticut water is not that good.
It's not New York City tap water.
It's not New York
Let's
City
talk
tap
about Gerrit
water.
Cole. Enough about the New York City tap water. Gerrit Cole, the ace of the Yankees, obviously. These ones, this is still going to be a fun episode, but this one's probably going to be a little shorter because, what else is there to talk about other than a few things? Like, he's just really good at baseball, and there's nothing else to it. But what he means to this team, and imagine where we would have been last year if we didn't have Gerrit Cole. Obviously, we still didn't win, but the entire pitching staff was kind of in shambles, and he kind of held it together. So when you look at the signing and how big of a signing it obviously was before he threw a pitch for the Yankees, but afterwards, when you kind of saw that he was the glue that held the Yankees together, just obviously a good signing, but even more so now. And now we have a supporting cast around him. Kluber looks good, barring health. Tyone looks good, barring health. If we get these other guys around Gerrit Cole to perform well, we're in for a good season, and I'm very excited for it. So,
Yeah, I think that before we go into what we expect out of him or anything like that, I feel like because of the way this starting rotation has been built, his role becomes so much greater, I feel like, than it was last year for two reasons. First, because the rest of the guys everyone's been showing a lot of promise through these spring training games. I think everyone who we've had doubts about so far, not doubts, but uncertainty so far, which is everyone else in the rotation, they've been pretty lights out this spring training. I know it's spring training, but it's a great sign.
it is a good sign, and I don't know that I had doubts. The doubts weren't about the performance, so I don't know.
Uncertainty,
Not even that. I don't know that it tells you much. I'm very excited about him. Certainly not unhappy about it, but the doubts we have are about the health. So that has to hold up. And a couple spring training starts aren't going to change our doubts or uncertainties about those things, but it is a good sign.
No, but my point behind that is that that's a great sign, not relevant to Gerrit Cole, really. The reason I'm bringing Gerrit Cole into this conversation is because he becomes this kind of guy that everyone can he becomes a guy that everyone can feed off of in a way. If you have that guy that like is the starting pitcher in the rotation, and you have other guys following up after him and wanting to get to his level, it just makes everyone else so much better. I think we talked about that, his presence in the clubhouse and how it makes everyone better. That becomes so much more important this season because of the rotation that has been orchestrated. What's up, Chandler?
I agree. He's the he's the rock of that whole thing. And with all the question marks and stuff like that, it kind of plays into what you were saying. If a couple guys need to miss a start here or there, or, they start getting fatigue, whatever, and, they get smacked around a little bit, you have that guy to come in every fifth day, guaranteed. Dude's a workhorse. He's not going to need a day off. He's going to be out there every single fifth day and give you a top start in the league, and you can pretty much damn near guarantee that every time he's out there.
So, people were talking about the whole potential idea of doing a six-man rotation, and we've talked about that before. I don't want that to happen if it means taking away from Gerrit Cole. Boone has said Gerrit Cole can and will hopefully throw 200 innings, which is kind of the gold standard for a workhorse pitcher, and he's done it before. Sevy's done it before. That's what we're expecting out of Gerrit Cole. It's what we need out of Gerrit Cole, and if he doesn't hit that mark, I'd be kind of upset. So,
he's done it the past three full seasons.
Has he?
Yeah, 200. So in 2017, 203, and then 200, then 212, and then a 60-game season, he had 73.
So, starting off there, that's my expectation for him. I need him to smash that, and I need him. Obviously, he's going to do amazing things. Maybe he's not going to hit that in his last full season. He had 300 plus strikeouts. I don't know where he stands in the all-time strikeouts in one season, but I know he was one of the tops in the Astros organization. That was a big deal over there, and obviously they cheated, but I don't think he did. People were talking about his pine tar. I hope that stays under wraps. If he is cheating with the pine tar, let's just get better at it. Let's get better at hiding that, because sometimes it did look kind of blatant. I don't know if it was sweat there. I know he does that little thing where he grabs the brim of his hat.
Everyone does that.
I think if he gets caught cheating, I will be upset. And listen, there is some part of me that thinks that there's a chance that could happen.
I'm not talking about that.
Pine tar is not cheating.
The conversation.
I just hope it doesn't happen. He's coming from the land of cheaters, and he's really good. And when you're really good at something, people want to find out why you're that good, and the microscope is on him. So I digress. I hope he wasn't cheating. I hope he isn't cheating, but he's really good, and that's what makes me think he's cheating, because he's so good. His spin rate's so high. So, what explains it? Maybe he's just that good. I hope he's just that good.
God-given talent.
That too. But one thing that he did struggle with last year was fucking G-Man Choi. So if we could eliminate that, because G-Man Choi, pull up G-Man Choi's career stats, because I don't know the numbers specifically off the top of my head. We talked about it last season, what his numbers were against Gerrit Cole, and they were some disgusting numbers. And then it showed the numbers against everybody else, and they were not even, they were laughable. But if we could just stop that, and it's not just G-Man Choi.
I Googled G-Man Choi stats, and the first thing pops up
pitcher
is versus Gerrit Cole.
Okay. So
he hit almost 700 against him last year.
It was
disgusting.
disgusting.
He hit 667 last year against Gerrit Cole.
But it's not just G-Man Choi. The main villain to Gerrit Cole was G-Man Choi, and that was his bugaboo. But it's always been the bottom half of the order is what he was struggling with, and we were talking about that too. So maybe when you face the bottom half, Gerrit Cole, I know you got a big ego and you're very good at, not a big ego. I know you're good, but maybe let's keep pitching against the bottom half guys, because they still are professional baseball players as well, and they can hit a batting practice fastball if you groove it down the middle. And that's what he did. A lot of the times he would challenge them with his fastball and say hit it, and they're professional hitters, so they can. So maybe let's take every at bat seriously. That's my only qualm with Gerrit Cole. Obviously, he's a stud. He's gonna have a sub-3 ERA. He's gonna be a beast. One of the favorites to win the Cy Young, if not the favorite to win the Cy Young. Let's just take every at bat seriously. That's my own.
I mean,
if I had to pick, that'd be that.
Dude is so happy to be a Yankee. That's just one thing I wanted to say. I love watching him walk around there in spring training, waving to everybody, waving to the fans. He wasn't smiling like that in Houston. There's just no way. The dude's happy. He wants to be here. He's going to run away with the Cy Young. Yeah. Absolutely run away with it.
Run away with it.
No competition. Unanimous even.
I mean, this is his first. This is his first full season as a New York Yankee. It's pretty exciting. You know, like what I expect a lot from him.
Another thing that is changing. I don't know, changing is the word, but Boone announced they weren't doing the personal catcher anymore, so that's exciting to me. I never was a big personal catcher guy. Then we got into the splits and we saw the numbers when Higgy was catching him. I don't think those were small sample sizes, the wise words of Murph, but I don't think the personal catcher was a big deal. The numbers were eye-popping, but
that was surprising.
I think over the course of a full season, we're not going to see those numbers be those numbers, and I think, I don't know. I'm glad we're not doing the personal catcher thing. I am actually, shockingly, for once, for you guys all, I'm optimistic about Gerrit, and I think that comes with accepting that they can't be a personal catcher anymore. So I just never bought into it, and I never wanted to buy into it, and I'm glad we're not doing it because.
Did you say you're optimistic about Gary?
Yeah, but that's neither here nor there. We're going to stop it right there. That's the most praise I'm going to give at this very moment. We'll see if he continues, but
10 for his last 21 with 10 Ks.
Huh?
Or one for his last 21 with 10 Ks in spring.
This isn't the Gary.
Not very. I'm just saying, not very optimistic about it. Actually, this actually kind of goes hand in hand because after seeing that at first, I was like, okay, personal catcher, whatever. But his best spring start came with Higgy, which was his last one. He struck out 8 in 4 innings. And then Gary's also not even hitting anymore. So, I don't know. I mean, like I said, not the Gary episode. I don't think he needs it. He's Gerrit Cole. But if Gary Sanchez continues to just nosedive in spring training and he keeps, if he has another start or two with Higgy and they're his best 3 starts, I mean, put 2 and 2 together. Higgy's going to make the roster, so.
Yeah, I don't know if the trigger is going to be that quick to pull it back to the, like, how many games in a row, let's say things spiral again, and Gerrit Cole is not pitching well. How many games do you give it, or do you think Boone will give it until he throws the personal catcher behind the dish, before he throws Higgy behind the dish?
I think that we have to figure out if this is a Gerrit Cole problem or a Gary Sanchez problem, and I don't think.
Well, Cole has had personal catchers every year.
Right, I'm aware, but I'm saying, like, how can we go from, okay, Gerrit Cole had a below average start, and it's Gary Sanchez's fault. We can't make that direct assumption.
I don't think it's his fault, but if Gary's not hitting, and Cole's better with Higgy, then what's the point? The whole point of having Sanchez in there, I mean, it's a comfortability thing, and the whole point of having a personal catcher is comfort. And if you're not sacrificing any hitting for it, which, I'm not saying Gary's going to have the worst season ever. I'm just saying if he continues to trend in the direction he is, which is a bad season, a bad spring, and you blah, 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 then what's the point of not doing it?
I kind of disagree with not having a personal catcher. I think the personal catcher should be, we should do it for our ace for sure. Like, if Gerrit Cole wants to throw to somebody, he should be able to, because
whatever makes him most comfortable. If he wants fucking diamond shoes to go wear out there to pitch, you go get him some diamond. Why are you against
Nike cleats? Why are you against it?
I just think you should nut the fuck up. You're getting paid so much money. Why are you nitpicking? Why do you need the perfect scenario? Why can't you just fucking throw? You're getting paid so much money because it throws everything off.
What throws what off?
Maybe that's one of the reasons why Gary had a down year, because he was being questioned. I mean, I don't know if this translates, but you look at football and Carson Wentz was benched and he's in and out of his starter role, and then he plays poorly because of that. It gets into your head.
He
And
played poorly before that, but
that's not true. That's neither here nor there. We'll talk about something
same
else.
thing with Gary Sanchez. It's
Yeah.
not like he just automatically started playing shitty when he started getting benched for Higgy.
Things spiraled after that. So I'm saying when somebody has their starter status in question because in a consistent basis, every time the best pitcher on our team is out on the mound, then that's going to mess with you. And I don't know if that's the conversation we're going to have. I think I'm more so against it because I want him to just nut the fuck up. Like, if you're...
I
Tell
agree.
Gary to not the fuck up.
No, this isn't the Gary episode, and I can't believe I'm just telling you to shut up about shitting on Gary, but it's about Gerrit Cole. And if he is getting paid this much money, he shouldn't have to be in the perfect scenario to do well or be comfortable with their catcher, whatever it is.
Should.
Just throw the fucking ball. Be
I
Gerrit
agree,
Cole.
but
just throw the ball. Figure it
I
out.
agree, but why does it matter? Like it's not like you're taking a huge step down offensively when Gary's hitting the way he is. If Gary Sanchez
don't
is
like
the
it,
Gary
and I
Sanchez
think-
of old and he's out there crushing baseballs, then yes, I'm with you. Like, nut up, fucking throw to whoever. You're the best pitcher on the planet. You should
And
be
that's
able
what
to
I'm hoping
throw.
for.
But all things like as they are sitting today, that I mean, it's not, you're not giving anything up by making him more comfortable. So it doesn't hurt
You're
anything.
giving
by
up,
giving
I think,
that to him.
potentially. That's one of the factors, I think, that just make it that much harder for Gary to have the bounce back. And if we're banging 1 through 9 and Gary is crushing baseballs out of the 9-hole, we're a World Series team, no question about it. And I think that's just one little thing that I'm nitpicking here, but I don't like the personal catcher. I never have. And I think if we can move on without it, I think it's just better for the whole team. I really don't think the numbers are that eye-popping over 162. I think he just has to settle in. He was comfortable with Higgy because he's played with him before. I forget where he played with him, but he played way back in the day with him. I think he roomed with him, if I'm not mistaken. Back in the day, I think they played at IMG Academy or something.
Little League together.
Little League, yeah. So he's just comfortable with him. Maybe you just gotta. If you go to college, you're comfortable with your home friends, but you find out that you like other people, and you end up making friends and get comfortable with them too. So look at what happened. I started a podcast with a college friend. Now I don't really like him as much because he wants the personal catcher. You're over here. Not Chandler. This if you're on the audio only, I pointed to Damon and I hopped through his screen. So watch us on YouTube.
All I'm saying is, if we pay a guy to be good,
Be good.
We should be good, but we should give him the opportunity and the assets and materials that he needs to be good.
No, I think this would make more sense if it were for a lesser, like a worse pitcher in a rotation. I think if there were a personal catcher to happen, I'd be more open to having Jordan Montgomery do it if it unlocks that extra ounce. So just shut up for a second, because I know you're making a
Did I
dumb
say one
face.
word? You told me to
but
shut
you
up,
made
I
a
didn't
really
talk.
annoying face and I didn't like it. So I'm just saying I am still against the personal catcher, but I think I'd be a fraction more for it if it was for somebody else in the rotation, not Gerrit Cole. Gerrit Cole should just shove to everybody. That's what he's paid to do. That's why he's the best pitcher on the planet. Probably the best pitcher in New York. That's pretty much a coin flip in my book. If it could make that lesser tier pitcher, exactly Jordan Montgomery, someone else like that, maybe even Devi. If Devi, a guy who doesn't have much confidence, needed a little extra boost to get that comfortability, that makes more sense to me. Gerrit Cole should just fucking shove. And that's that. And that's all I want to talk about this, because it's really not that big a deal, and they're not going to do it. So,
Well, they might do it. We don't know.
well, they called it off for now. So,
We'll see.
do we think he's the best pitcher in New York? I
The
don't think so.
Yankee part of me wants to say yes,
I
but
really don't.
honestly,
DeGrom is so
no.
good.
The fact
Dude,
that
he's throwing harder.
the
He's
fact
throwing
that we
like
all
100
sighed like that.
now.
What just happened to your?
What?
Ow!
What?
I'll edit that out.
Yeah,
That was
weird.
Screech.
What are you talking about?
He was
Screech
screeched.
McGee over there?
Oh, I didn't hear that. Can you
But
hear me
the
fine
fact-
now?
The fact that we all sighed like that is very telling. I think he's probably not the best pitcher in New York, but
It's not a
the
bad
two best
thing.
pitchers in baseball are in New York, so it's neither here nor there. And DeGrom pitches in the NL, so he's not going to be in his Cy Young way, but that's not a knock. DeGrom is so fucking good. His slider goes 94. Most guys' fastballs don't go 94. It's just gross. He's throwing 101 already in the spring. It's just disgusting. But
how do you get up to 101 and get faster over the age of 30? I want to know how that's possible. He's like 32
so
and he's just gaining like 2.
They should look into Jacob DeGrom over there in Queens.
Dude, at this rate, by the time he's 45, he's going to be touching 200. I don't know if there's a stat
better every day.
He takes that literally.
That's what DeGrom would do. So the over-under is set for 15.5 wins.
Love the segue into that. I'm hammering the over.
Yeah,
hammering the over
too. Absolutely.
Yeah. So Baseball Reference has him with 1 save. I am stoked to watch that 1 save because I am assuming that's a playoff save.
World Series Game 7.
That's World Series Game 7 right there.
And I'm more confident that he's going to...
Do the projections include playoff stats? I feel like
they do today.
A regular season. They do today. That's what lit up in my mind when I saw that stat. So, to leave you guys on this, Gerrit Cole is pitching, not tomorrow. We'll call it tomorrow. Very soon. Couple hours. Times 2. A lot of hours, but from when you listen to this. But Gerrit Cole is pitching, and that is something we have missed for so long, having a bona fide number 1 opening day starter, which actually reminds me of something that I find funny in the Major League Baseball. That thing that we like to talk about. It's whenever they name the opening day starters, I feel like it's just so funny. Like everybody makes a fuss about naming the opening day starters when it's so obvious. On some teams, it's not obvious. For example, the Tigers named Matthew Boyd, which, oh, wow, could have named this guy, could have named that guy. Probably not because he's the only good pitcher on that team. But I just find it funny. He's like, oh, DeGrom is named the opening day starter. And that's all they talk about on MLB Network. And I was just thinking to myself, of course he was. What is Stroman going to be the opening day starter? But that was just something that I found funny. But I'm just excited that the Yankees have that opening day starter that is going to be the opening day starter. Because in years past, we have a lot of guys who are similar. It would be Tanaka, or is it Paxton, or is it all these other guys, Domingo. I don't know. It's a lot of guys. After Cole, it's a lot of guys that are all of similar skill. So I'm glad we have one guy who's a clear cut, leading the pack to opening day. Get us started on the right foot against the Toronto Blue Jays, who have a good offense. So it's going to be a good test right out of the gate. And if he gives up home runs early, which he did a lot of that last year, that's another nitpick that I would do. Let's cut that down. Let's just start shoving out of the gates. You make a lot of money, so pitch well. That's what I want out of him. He will pitch well, but I want him to pitch better than well because he's getting paid lots of money. So
you think they'll let him go deep in the first game?
Probably.
Well, I'm saying 6 2/3.
The last thing we saw
of
was
1 run
5.
baseball.
He went 5 and he shoved in his last spring training start. I don't know if there will be another start, but before this, probably not. So that was his last spring training start. He went 5, so I doubt they're going to let him. I mean, if he's absolutely shoving, his pitch count's low, which I don't really think it will be low. They tend to be higher in the beginning of the season because they don't have the control down. So I foresee him going 5 innings or something strong. It's a tough lineup. I'm not going to discount that. It's a tough lineup. We'll break it down more in the series preview that actually comes out tomorrow. So the series preview with Section 138 podcast. It's a Blue Jays podcast. We're going to be talking to them and putting that out tomorrow. Going to be a lot of fun. We'll preview the Blue Jays side of the matchup. We talk a lot about Yankees here, so that's the Blue Jays side of things. If you want the early access to that episode, check out patreon.com/161boys. Doing live episodes. Whenever we do record them, we just click stream to our Patreon. It's a lot of fun. Hop in the chat. These episodes are all uploaded to YouTube every time. If you want the video version, I understand if you don't. Chandler's not a looker right now, but these are always uploaded to YouTube as well as on every podcast app that you're already on. Love you guys. Let's go Yanks. Let's have a fucking World Series year, and let's starts tomorrow or the day after, or whatever it may be.
World
April
Series
Fool's
starts
Day.
now.
Starts
Imagine-
Thursday.
Imagine April Fool's Day. They're just like, fuck it, we're playing tomorrow, April Fools.
I'd be so upset.
April Fools, we're starting again in July.
April
Fool's COVID's
April
back.
Fool. I was about to say April Fool's COVID's back. I don't even say that.
Sorry, take it back.
I said it too. I take it back.
Let's go Yanks.
All right, let's go Yanks. Let's go win.
All the guys at 161st Street, I just have 2 words. See ya.